Now, first, let me talk about we all talk about software, right? What is software? Any idea? What is a software? If you go to industry, people will always talk software, application, project. There are a lot of terminologies, right? By default, software is used to develop a kind of applications, a different kind of application. To take Java, it is used to build an application. If you take .Net, it is used to build an application. If you take Python, it is used to build an application. The main idea behind the software is it is used to build applications. That's the very straightforward answer. So first question is software is used to build a different type of applications. Fine. Now I understand what is software. Now go back. Sir, I know what is application. Now you are saying type of application. What is application? Why do we need an application? Facebook, which you guys are always using in your mobile and desktop. Is it an application? Right? MS Word, it is an application. Calculator, in everybody's mobile, everybody's desktop, you are seeing a calculator. It is a one type of application. So application is nothing but, what is application? Application is a set of rules combined together. Example, calculator. How many rules are there in calculator? If you take your mobile calculator or a desktop calculator, how many rules you can able to see? I have first rule, add of two number. I have second rule, subtraction of two number. I have third rule, multiplication of two number. I have fourth rule, division of two number. So how many rules you have? Add, subtract, multiply, division. Combining all these rules, I'm saying a calculator. Combining all these rules, I'm saying calculator. So calculator is an application. Calculator is an application. Can I say MS Word is also an application? MS Excel, Microsoft Excel is also an application. Microsoft PowerPoint is also an application. Microsoft PowerPoint is also an application. Yesterday, you got one information from the industry people. Microsoft had a glitch for 6 hours. Anybody here online? All Microsoft products are stopped so that lot of industries got affected because of these basic applications. Or you got my point? So you have to be more careful when you are working on any application. Nowadays, everybody moving into technology. Be it to be any different type of technology, people are moving. That is called an application. Now, what are all the types of applications we have in industry? People always talk lot of applications, right? In that, there are different type of applications we have. The first one is command prompt application. First one is command prompt application. This is your first application in your career, command prompt. What the command prompt will do? CMD. This is my command prompt. Anything you have a black window where you are going to execute all your commands. If you make cd ... what will happen? It is going to use a change directory. Or if you give a directory cd e colon. Instead of C drive, it is pointing to E drive. Or you got my point? So, or you can give a simply drive called E drive. These are all the commands. In a single black application, I'm giving a commands. Or you got my point? Will this command application can be executed in another computer or a same computer? This command prompt will execute only on the same computer. That is why command prompt application or Windows application. What is Windows application? Any application which has an user interface, we will call it as a Windows application. Sir, can you show me any application you have? Yes, I do have certain applications. I will show you. If you look into my .NET 2, in the code, I have Windows sample data reader, under which I will have a bin debug. Just click on this executable file. You see there is a list of data are available. When you click, you see I'm getting the data. This executable file, what I'm showing will run only on this particular computer, but as an user interface. It was purely built by .NET technology. This Windows application was built by .NET technology. I want to update data. I want to update data set. I can update insert. Whenever you make any change in the value, it automatically go and store in the database. Let's go and change something like 9,000. All right. I'm clicking on update. Data got updated. Now go back. Now come back to the 4. You see, the data is not updated. Some issue is happening. We'll see later. Some database issue. Okay. But the data is not reading properly. So these kind of applications will help you to build Windows-based application using different technologies. These applications will execute only on a single computer. If at all you want to execute this application in a different computer, what do you need to do? You need to deploy this application in individual computers one by one. For example, if I have 10 computers where I built a Windows-based application, what I will do? I will go and install all these applications with 10 times. Or you got my point? So that is why these applications are called as desktop application or standalone application. It is not going to have any dependency on any server, anything. All these applications will execute in your local laptop. This is called command prompt application or Windows application. The second application is, which is mostly important application from the industry, which is called client server application. This is where you are going to learn all your technology. What is client server application? Let's take a browser, use www.facebook.com, or take a browser, use google.com. Or you got my point? Will the execution happen in your computer or some other server? Some other server. Or you got my point? See, you are using MS Paint. You are using MS Paint. In this MS Paint, I have a server which sits in US or India or Australia. I don't know where the server is. Okay. This server has 2 applications which has been installed. This server has 2 applications has been installed. One application will be facebook.com. For your better understanding, I'm using this. Okay. Facebook.com. Facebook has installed the application in their server. Now, the other application I have, linkedin.com. www.linkedin.com. Now, a person from India need to access this Facebook URL. So what he will do? He will have a client browser. This is my client system. I'm sitting in India. I'm going to access the server which are located in US. So what I will do here, I will open a Chrome browser here. What is this? This is my Chrome browser. This is my Chrome browser. Right? In that browser, I'm going to make an URL saying that www.facebook.com. Right? I'm going to use www.facebook.com. When you make a facebook.com, what will happen? This request will go to the server internally containing a Facebook application. The Facebook application receive the request, process the request, generate the response which is needed for the user, and then send back to the client. That's all it is doing. Like that, you can have n number of machines. Today, you are accessing from your laptop. I can also access from my laptop. But application is not in my laptop, or application is not in your laptop. That is why we are call it as client server application. This will be called as client. We will call it as web client. And this will be called it as web server. Web server. Right? So this is called client server technology. Now coming back to here, what could be the definition of the client server technology? 2.1, client browser, client machine containing browser, client machine containing browser, make a request on a specified URL. Make a request on a specified URL. Or you got my point? So that URL, make a request on a specified URL. What is your second point? Web server, web server machine will detect a URL, process the request based on the client, and generate a response in a HTML format. Generate a response in a HTML format and sends the response back to the client. Right? Sends the response back to the client. What client will do? Client will receive the response, render the HTML output, display to the user. Am I right or wrong? See, this is predominantly happening. You take any web application, and you take any mobile application, you take anything, predominantly what will happen? You make a request to the server receives that URL, detect that URL, catch the response, process the request. After processing the request, generate the client as an HTML, send back to the client. Client receive that response, then it will complete it. This is called client server technology. Now coming back to build client applications, to build client applications, to build client application, to build any client application, it's not a single client application. To build any client application, we need to know few technologies. We need to know few technologies. First one, you need to know the HTML. You need to know HTML, which is nothing but hypertext transfer protocol, right? Hypertext transfer protocol. Why do we need this hypertext transfer protocol? To render an output only in a HTML format. Whatever the request or response you are going to give to the server, only in the form of HTML. Only in the form of HTML. Sir, I'm constructing a building. Think in this way, you are trying to construct a building. When you construct a building, what will happen? First, you will use the bricks to build the construction. Once the bricks has been constructed, next what is your thought process? You need to go for painting. Or you got my point? Here, HTML is basically used for construct the building. So how to paint it? By using CSS, which is called cascade style sheet, which is called client style sheet. What is the purpose of this? This CSS is used to apply user friendliness or navigations or reading data in a reading values in a readable format. In a readable format. If you have plain HTML, what will happen? It's a plain text. Nobody can able to see that. Or you got my point? To avoid that, people are going and using CSS. Sir, I learned HTML and CSS. What next? When you learned HTML and CSS, only the client to browser related activity you can able to perform. You don't need to have validation. You don't need to have a kind of user sensibility will not happen. To handle that kind of situation, you need to learn JavaScript. You need to learn JavaScript. So JavaScript is used to make the application more reactive. When I say reactive, when you click on submit, the form you are filling, when you click on submit, JavaScript will tell that yes, before it is submitting to the browser, to the server, in the client side itself, JavaScript is make sure the data you are entering in the form is right up. Or you got my point? So that is the reason people are going for JavaScript. Just a second. Hello? 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 So the next one is bootstrap. It will give, it is more another way of next level of representing the data. Bootstrap. What happened? You need to understand CSS, you need to understand JavaScript, all these things. Bootstrap will integrate both CSS and JavaScript given as a framework. If people can understand HTML, they can directly try to implement Bootstrap. Or you got my point? But you need to understand the core framework of CSS and JavaScript. Then only you can able to learn Bootstrap. So if you are learning a technology, first you need to learn a fundamentals. Or you got my point? What is your fundamental? HTML is your fundamental. CSS your fundamental. JavaScript your fundamental. Bootstrap is the framework. Bootstrap is a framework, helps you to build responsive websites, responsive web pages. What is responsive? Anyone can tell me? What is responsive web pages? When I say responsive web pages, if you go to browser, open any browser, I take Sunath technology. Sunath technology. So this is my website. Now, if you see this browser has a menu like this. Now, sir, if I minimize and drag, you see, it is responsive. Menus are hidden, but you can able to understand. This will create with the help of Bootstrap. This will happen with the help of Bootstrap. That is the framework which will help you to build responsiveness. The framework which will help you to build responsiveness. Right? Now, after learning this, sir, I understand everything, sir. Now, I want to build a MERN stack. Why? To build enterprise-based application. Enterprise-based application. We need to learn. We need to learn MERN stack. Sir, can I not able to do using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap? No, it is basically a websites you can do. If you learn HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, you can able to build a basic websites. Enterprise-based application you want to build, you need to have a database, you need to have a server-side logic, you need to have a client-side logic. Or you got my point? With the help of MERN stack, you can able to learn everything at a single stretch. For that, you need a basics of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. If you learn only these things, then only you can able to learn MERN stack. So if you want to learn a paragraph, you need to first learn words. If you need to learn words, first you need to learn ABCD. Am I right or wrong? Then only you can able to move forward. Am I right? Similar fashion, if you want to build an enterprise-based application, be it to be a Java, be it to be .NET, be it to be Python, be it to be MERN Stack, be it to be MERN Stack. Except these 5 technology, nobody will use industry that this is the technology I want. But your fundamental is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. If you learn all these 4, you can move your career into any flavor. Let me put you in different way. Here, new, your base fundamental is, this is your fundamental. To build any enterprise, any web application, your base fundamental is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. Right? After learning that, you can move your career in 5 technologies. You can make your career into 5 technologies. All these are server-side applications. Client-server application will happen in this layer. These are called as building client-server applications. These are called as, it can be any technology, building client-server applications. Right? To learn this, sorry. Building client-server applications. To learn all these client-server applications, either you have to become a full stack Java developer, or to learn the client server HTML, CSS, I can become a full stack .NET developer. And you can also have a Java and Python. You can have here, or you can become a MERN Stack developer. MERN Stack developer. Right? Whoever it may be, whatever the career you choose, your fundamental is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. Right? And then you can become a MERN Stack developer. Ours is today's is MERN Stack developer. MERN Stack developer. Sir, what is the purpose of MERN Stack? So to build any client server technology, what is your fundamental? Your fundamental is this. You want to build a full stack developer application, you have to learn this fundamental. You want to build a full stack .NET developer, you have to learn this technology. If you want to become a MERN Stack developer, you want to learn. Any fresher who comes into the industry, or anybody who want to become a web application developer with a different technology, their fundamental is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. That is very clear. Now, and then you can go for MERN Stack. All right. Now coming back to MERN Stack. MERN stands for, will you all able to see my screen online? MERN stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, Node.js. Right? Sir, what is React? What is Node? What is Express? What is MongoDB? Where and all I can able to build it. I will show you. Go here, create a one other, don't save. See, to build any application, first you need a database, right? Any data you are entering in Facebook, it will be stored in a database. For that, you have a DB called MongoDB. For that, you will have a DB called MongoDB. MongoDB will help you to store data. MongoDB will help as you to store or retrieve the data. Retrieve the data. That is the purpose of MongoDB. All right. Now, I have a front-end application with HTML, CSS, everything. What I'm going to do with the help of React, I'm going to use a React.js as a framework. React.js as a framework to represent data. React.js is a framework to present data using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then Bootstrap. Right? Sir, whenever I enter data in this form, how can I go and store in MongoDB? For that, you are going to build a business logic with the help of Express.js. You got my point? If you are using full stack .NET, your business logic will write in C#.NET. If you are using Java full stack developer, your business logic will be write in Java programming language. If you are using Python full stack developer, you are going to write your business logic as Python coding. Where in MERN stack or MERN stack, Express.js is a framework. Again, Express.js is also a framework. Express.js is a framework. Help us to build business logic as a service. I'll teach all these things in the later point of time. Now you understand. To develop Express.js, Node.js, MongoDB, you need a Node.js. By default, Node is required. All these comes from derived from Node.js. React.js has been derived from Node.js. Express.js is Node. So basically, the communication of front end will connect to the Express.js. Express.js in turn connect to the MongoDB. React.js cannot able to store data directly to the database. React can only understand APIs. Who will build the API for you? Express.js is going to build the API for you. Right? And then whenever I want to retrieve the data will come to Express. Express will give to MongoDB. So this is the idea behind MERN stack. Anybody have any questions or doubts? Jayshree, Sumana, Arin, do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay then. Now, coming back, the course duration I can explain. HTML along with CSS, it will cover in 15 days. JavaScript cover in 20 days. Bootstrap cover in 15 days. Total 50 days of HTML, CSS. And then you will have React JS covered in 30 to 35 days based on the knowledge you are gaining. And then MERN Stack, MERN Stack, Enterprise JS, building a business logic, everything will be covered in 45 days. To build a final project. Final project. Any project based on the time we can decide it will be 20 days. Total duration is, total duration of the courses how many days? 30, 30, 50, 50 plus 45, 50 plus 35, 85, 85 plus 5, 85, 90, 130, 130 plus 20, 150 days, which is approximately 5 months, 5 to 6 months duration. By end of 6 months duration, you can become a MERN Stack full developer. By end of 6 months, you can become a MERN Stack developer. Right? Anybody have any questions? Guys? Yeah, Sumana.
No, sir.
So, please feel to contact Sunad Technology. Sunad Technology, those who are interested. Right? Got my point? You can contact Sunad Technology. They will give you all information about the class and courses. Or you got my point? 3 to 5 sessions will be free. Free for demo in online. We will update you on the timing. Most probably 11 to 12 from Monday. Online classes. No offline. The advantage of online is you will get a video recordings from me, which will be lifelong. Second thing, notes, whatever I'm writing as a notes in the notepad, this notepad will be given to you. Notes will be given to you. And third one is example programs. Example programs will be given by me at the end of each module. I will not give before. End of each module I will give. Why? Because I won't give that. You have to develop and show me. Clear my point? And fourth advantage is I am here to help you guys to build a project on your own. After completing the project, I will assign certain project you have to build. Every Saturday, I will have a review call with everyone. Right? So the total duration of the course is 5 to 6 months, daily 1 hour online. Clear? The timing, I will keep you updated, mostly by 11 to 12 or 10:30 to 10:45 to 11:45. I'll confirm on the timing. Monday to till next Friday, you can attend a free session and you can take a decision. Right? Anybody have any questions? Guys, do you have any other questions? Let me know. Otherwise, we can wind off. Online? Shravani?
No, sir.
What about Arin? Arin Malaki? Okay, guys. Have a great weekend. If at all interested, same link will be open by 11 a.m. Monday. And you can join online. Next 2-3 classes, we can continue and take a decision on that. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye. Chapra. Laptop call